Hey guys, it's Adrienne from Crafty Little Gnome and Little Gnome Business, and today we are going to talk about photographs. I'm going to give you some of my best photograph tips for taking pictures of your handmade arts and crafts that you're selling online. This could be for Etsy, Amazon Handmade, eBay, your own Shopify or personal website. These methods are going to work for all of these platforms. I'm going to share the tools I use, the different cameras, as well as props and things that I find are essential for taking really great photos. Before we get started, I want to give a shout out to Donna in New York. Donna's Etsy shop is called Holy Cow Quilts, and she makes really, really beautiful quilted items, table runners, placemats, and things like that. Donna has some really great stuff, so you just definitely want to check out her shop. I'm going to leave a link in the comments and in the video description. If you want to be featured in a shout out, leave a comment on this video or any one of my videos, and I will have a look at your shop and choose some to do shout outs to in future videos. I also have a free ebook with a lot of tips on how to sell your handmade arts and crafts online. I've got a link as well for that. So if you want a free 40-page ebook, you can go ahead and click on the link and I will deliver it straight to your inbox. I also have a private Facebook group for handmade arts and crafts sellers. Feel free to join us there. You can ask any questions that you have. It's a private closed group, so people can't see what we're doing in there, but I do lives every week, so definitely check that out as well. Alright guys, let's get started learning about photography for Etsy. I've said it once, I've said it a million times. Your photography is the most important aspect of your Etsy shop or your handmade shop. If your photos suck, nothing else you do is going to matter. Photos are what people look at to determine what they're going to buy. If somebody selling something similar has better photos than you, customers are going to buy from them and not you. So it's so important to keep always working on your photography and do your best to take the best photos that you can. One of the myths that I think people have with photography is that you have to have expensive equipment. You have to have a fancy DSLR camera. And you definitely don't need to do that. You just need to know how to use the equipment that you already have. And you need to make good use of the tools and the props and the things that you have access to. You can buy a DSLR camera for thousands of dollars, but if you don't know how to use it, your photos are gonna look like crap. I've seen it before. People will spend all this money thinking that a more expensive camera means that their photos are gonna turn out better, and that's not true. So what do I use for my photos? Well, for the most part, I use my phone. This is just a regular, this is the iPhone X. I just got it, but previous to that, I was using the iPhone 6S, and that took awesome photos. And to be honest with you, I mean, this phone takes, I guess, better photos than the 6S, but they were both really good. The camera on this one isn't that much different if you actually go ahead and research the different specs between the two phones. They're really not that much different. So if you have a phone that's, say, from like 2016 or newer, you can take photos on it and it can look really good. What you need to do is know about lighting, know about angles, make sure that your photos aren't blurry, and you can also use editing equipment either on your phone or on your computer to enhance the photos that you take. So we'll talk about that in a second. First, I want to show you the camera that I use. If I am using a camera, it is a Nikon Coolpix. This is the B500. I got it a couple of years ago. It's less than $200, and it's a really great camera if you want something fancier than just point and shoot. And to be honest with you, most of the time I just take it on auto. I take all my photos on auto. There is the option there to adjust the aperture and the exposure and all that jazz, but I just take it on auto. I use natural light, and that works out really well for me. So the important thing to know about photography is that really photography is all about lighting. So what you want to do when you're taking your photos is make sure that you are doing it in the lightest, brightest room in your house. If you can do it outside, that's great. If you are shooting outside, you want to make sure that it's either an overcast day or you have some kind of tent or setup so that you're not getting bright direct sunlight. You definitely don't want bright sunlight where it's going to create a lot of shadows. You want nice, soft, diffused light. So if it's a bright sunny day and you're shooting indoors, you can hang up like a gauzy curtain or a white sheet just to help diffuse the light and make sure that things aren't too harsh. I take almost all of my photos here in my dining room. It's the best place in my house for photography and also for the videos that I do. It's nice and bright. I don't need to have extra lighting. I don't need to pay extra for fancy lights. It just works out really well for me. One of the best tools that I use is a plain piece of white poster board. I got this at Dollar Tree. It's actually like 60 cents at Dollar Tree, so it's like super cheap. You can get it anywhere. I'm sure you've seen it a million times. You can use it to place your items on. You can put it on a flat surface and then take photos from above with your phone or your camera and do the nice overhead shot. You can also use it to help reflect light. So where I am right now, the sun is coming in from this way. You can set up the poster board just on sight, so obviously you won't see it. There's my cat. This is Bread. Her name's Bread. So the light will come in, it'll reflect off here, and it'll bounce and help to eliminate any shadows that might be happening. So that can really come in handy, especially if it's during the winter time and there's a lot of darkness and shadows. I always take my photos during the day. If you try to take them after dark, you're going to end up with really bad photos. You need to use natural light. If for whatever reason you live in Alaska, it's dark 24/7, or you work during the day and the only time you have, even on the weekends, you don't have time during the day, you could actually go to Home Depot or Lowe's or any hardware store and buy special light bulbs that will go into like your regular lamp. And you want to choose light bulbs that are cool and that have sort of a blue-white light as opposed to the regular yellow ones that you see often in people's houses. So you want to choose bright, almost fluorescent lighting. And when you go to the hardware store and you're looking in the aisle, they have a whole thing set up and it'll show you the different lighting spectrums. So you want to choose the light, white, blue, cool lighting. When you're taking your photos, you want to make sure you have a nice close-up, it's called like the hero shot, with not a lot in the background. You want the focus to be on the item that you have for sale and not have any distractions from anything else. Now you can use a white piece of poster board like I showed you, or you can use different kinds. They make contact paper with different like marble designs on them. You can do like a wood planking thing. You can use a wood table. Whatever you have access to that's just gonna emphasize what you have for sale and not take away from it. In a lot of my photos, I use this wood plank. I just found it like on our property. I just lay it down, I put the jewelry on there, I do a nice tight shot. It has like a nice texture, it looks nice and rustic. And then I can use props like a few extra leaves or some flowers that are just kind of around the edge to kind of tie all my photos together and make the whole, I guess, feeling of it look cohesive. Because I sell jewelry, another one of the props that I'll use is just like a jewelry box. So if you have something like nice props that go with what you have, so I would do like either this like in the corner of the photo, so the jewelry is still like, it could be like coming out of the box or beside it, and it just kind of helps create the mood and the feeling that you want in your photograph. Another thing I will do in my photos is share how it is packaged. I think people like to see and know what to expect when they get it. So I'll show a picture of like the jewelry box that I ship it in so that people know, okay, like it comes in a box. This is what it's gonna look like when I get it, and there are no surprises. The photos that you want to have in your listing, in addition to the close-up shot, you want to show it in use. So for example, I would show, if I'm shipping or I'm taking a photo of a bracelet, I'm going to show it on a wrist, a nice close-up so people can see. Or if it's earrings, I'm going to show it, like I'm going to do like a selfie or have someone take a photo of me that looks nice, where you can see it on the person. That helps to show the scale. If it's not something that is like on a human, like it's not something wearable, you can take a tape measure and photograph it beside it so that people can see exactly how big it is compared to either a tape measure or a quarter or something like that. If you sell artwork, a great thing to do is have it on a wall, nicely styled. So if you have like a mantle or a chest, like for my picture back here, I would show a nice close-up of it against the wall. You want to make sure there's no glare, so obviously this photo has a glass frame. If you're shooting things that have a frame, take the frame off, and then just show it without any glare. And people want to see what it's going to look like. They want to imagine it in their space. So if you're doing throw pillows or blankets, do it nicely styled on a couch. Don't take the photos like on a dirty floor. Don't take them on top of your washing machine. Don't do it on your picnic table in the backyard. You really want people to be able to imagine the item in their life and do it in a way that they're going to feel like having this item in their life is going to improve it. So you want to make sure things are clean, that you don't have dog hair or pet hair on it, that you don't have a bunch of crap that you have laying around in the photo. You really want to think about how it would look if it was a professional who photographed it, how it would look if it was styled for a magazine. And you can take inspiration from magazines. You can go on Etsy and find some of your favorite sellers and get inspiration from them and how they take their photos, and just keep working at it. Alright guys, that's all my tips for today. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time.